Hello, welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I am your host, Francy Hall, and shortly here I will be joined by Betsy Lindgren and Sheila Lane, right, Sheila? Yes, with Express Personnel. Before we get to that, though, we would like to thank our sponsors. They help bring this community connection to you, and we sure appreciate them. We hope that you do and that you will also support their businesses. First of all, our premier sponsors are City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals visiting with us today, and the Owatonna Public Utilities. Our primary sponsors are Amy Swain Hearing Center, Brookdale Senior Living and Sterling House and Clarebridge, and Little Theater of Owatonna, and the Owatonna Foundation. Our interlude sponsors are Abraham Consulting, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Glenn Meager and Tim Thomas of the Brickmaker Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Carlson Brandstad and Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Clancher and Son Landscaping and Concrete, Owatonna Business Incubator, Snap Fitness, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Inc. Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. We really appreciate them, and we hope that you give them your business. Well, please stick with us after a word from these sponsors as well, and we will be joined by Express Personnel.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And also joining us here at the table now, we've got Betsy Lindgren and we've got Sheila Lane. And we're going to be introducing Sheila to the public here, to the people who might be using her services to find employment, right?
Yes.
So let's introduce ourselves. I think everybody probably knows Betsy, but Betsy?
Betsy Lindgren, I'm the owner of Express Employment Professionals. 30 years.
30 years.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. And so, Sheila, you are new.
Yes, I've been with Betsy since about March.
So, Express Employment Services since March,
yes.
And you live locally now.
Yep, I live in Hope.
In Hope.
Yes.
And what do you do at Express Personnel Services?
I am the business development manager for Express. So one of my key roles is to work with the current clients that we do have out in the community to see what needs they have, not only from a staffing standpoint, training standpoint, human resources, all of those types of things, so that we better support those businesses that are out in our community, and to also reach out to new ones that may have never heard of Express, which is hard to believe, or that may have never utilized Express in the past.
Sure, and so you're going to be the face and the person interacting with the businesses in our community to find out what their employment needs are and get people to fill those roles.
Absolutely.
Great. Will the associates who come through to get jobs be speaking with you, or is that someone else's?
We actually have wonderful sales associates that are in the office, the staffing, and that take care of the associates as they come in and put them through their interview process and to additional training that we have and all that stuff.
So to be clear, clients are the businesses in our community that need help staffing, and the associates are the people that they introduce to those businesses to perform the work that they need, right?
Those are employees, right.
Yes. And so how many businesses do we currently have using Express?
On a annual basis, there's between 300 and 400 clients that work with us.
Wow.
And that's this office in Owatonna, between Owatonna and Albert Lea. And then I have an office in Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And I understand that Sheila's from Iowa.
I
right?
am. I am Central Iowa, born and raised. Yes.
And so how did you come to meet Betsy and work for Express?
Through my previous employer, we actually utilized Express. We were one of their clients, and they placed associates at a Northfield location that we had. When I knew that I was moving to the area, I reached out to Betsy to see if they had anything available out in the community, and was lucky enough that she brought me on board to the team.
She snapped you up.
She did.
Said, okay, yeah, I know what I need. Awesome.
She came with
That's
a
so
tremendous amount of resources. She does have an HR background, so that certainly adds to our wheelhouse of skills and information and resources available to our clients. And so it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure working with her for the last 2 years, so I was thrilled that she was available and willing to come on board with us.
So you had worked with Express for the last 2 years, and Betsy got to know you that way.
That is correct, yep.
Awesome. So of course, she knew what she was getting, and she snapped you right up, right?
Yes.
That's so good. Now, what else do we want to talk about today? What do you want? I think you were talking about a simulcast that recently happened.
Yes, it's
What is that?
an annual event done by the corporate Express, and what they do is we have 3 keynote speakers every year. It changes every year as to who the keynote speakers are, based on what industries may be looking for, what they've suggested from years past. And they go ahead and they stream it live, and we're allowed to invite clients to come, as many as they want to. We actually had a full house this year. Probably we'll have to expand next year as to where we are going to have the event.
So it's really well attended.
It is extremely well attended. It's an amazing event.
And these are the employers in the community who are coming to this event. And who were the speakers, and what kinds of things are they getting out of this?
We had 3 speakers, as I said. We had Dan Aykroyd, obviously an amazing comedian, actor. I mean, his portfolio is just so well renowned out in the industry. We had Damon John. He is actually on Shark Tank, if you've ever seen that show. He also is the founder of FUBU, For You By You, that clothing line. And then we had Anne Murray. Her story was homeless to Harvard. She actually came from just a poverty-stricken background. Her parents were drug addicts, and she literally came from nothing to be an amazing individual, a guest speaker, a phenomenal professional speaker out in the communities and the industries.
Wow.
So there wasn't a dry in the room when she was done telling her story.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, my
she was
goodness.
amazing.
So who went first? I mean, I'm assuming Dan Aykroyd had to add some levity to the situation.
Yes, we actually had Anne. She went first. Glad we didn't probably have her last with her story. And then Dan was in the middle, and then Damon was the one that closed the show for us.
And what did the people who attended, what did they get out of that?
A lot of what they get is the leadership skills that they can take back with them to the office, depending on what their roles are. Each one of them brings to light with them something that will benefit an employer, whether it's an HR person, a supervisor, and all in how they can deal with their employees when they get back to the office. And then once we're done with that event, we actually do a survey of all of the people that attended so that we can see what their pain points are out in their industry specifically to them.
What did you say?
Their pain points, their sufferings, their issues that they're going through.
Wow. So they
yes,
have challenges.
Betsy calls them, yes, the challenges.
The challenges
Yes.
that the clients
Yes.
are going through.
Yep.
Okay. Pain points. So this is lingo from the employment community, I guess.
That's from an HR standpoint, I
Yeah.
guess that's what we always called them. We're your pains and sufferings that you go through.
Your challenges that
yes,
you need
yep,
help
your
with.
challenges. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like really neat. But so the public, I can't go unless I'm one of the clients that gets to watch this,
No,
right?
the general public is invited.
Oh, really?
Yeah, general public's invited.
Oh, so
was a
next
need.
year
It was
we'll
a
tell
need.
you all about it next year. Well, we maybe already
We'll
did.
be
I
back.
just wasn't a part of it. Yeah, sorry. I'm really not in the know here. Thanks for clarifying that. So what else do we want to talk about today, Betsy? Clearly, we've got needs in the community in terms of employment, people who need employment and people who need employees. What else do you want to talk about that we might be able to convey to the folks out there?
Well, Sheila, I think you've got, when you're talking about those pain points, you have some very specific ones that came up to the top of the list.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
believe after our survey, when our survey results came back in. Really interesting.
So what are some of the things, the challenges that employers are facing?
One of the biggest ones is training. I know we hear a lot of all the different generational gaps, the baby boomers, the millennials. It is a very real topic that you see out in the working industry. It's trying to leverage those employees that they currently have to understand the ones that are coming in, and not necessarily having the soft skills that are out there anymore with the people that are coming into the workforce. Your supervisors are probably people that have just been in the industry, that have been advanced into those supervisory roles, maybe don't have those necessary coaching skills, those support skills for people that are coming in or their current employees that they're managing over. And so those were some things that we really saw that came to light, and we have specific training offered from Express for just those specific topics.
Wow, so Express personnel doesn't just, find what the employment needs are and the employees to fill them, but actually you're a resource for the employer if they need training, or the people that they're employing need training. So in this case, the soft skills of supervising and
Yep.
Okay, neat. And what was another?
Some of the biggest ones was understanding managing the generations in the workplace. Obviously, that's not going to go away anytime soon. It's only going to become larger with what we have. Another one was turnover and retention. We know that we're going to have a mass exodus in the workforce of people that are going to be leaving. It is a smaller generation that is coming in. There aren't nearly as many that are coming in that are exiting.
Wow, so there are more people leaving, and that means there's going to be more jobs open.
Yes, absolutely. And then another one was the top 5 threats that are facing businesses today. And some of those threats are, again, the skill gap that we have. You go from a very hands-on to a very technical age that's coming in. So there are some key communication skill gaps that we're seeing with the associates that are coming in. It's easier to talk through a phone than it is to sit down and have those face-to-face communication meetings. Another one is hiring the right people. When you have so many that are leaving and coming in, it's such a rush to do the hiring that you're not always finding the right opportunity, which is where Express takes that time with the associates that are coming in so that we make sure we have those right placements for our clients. Absolutely.
You know what their skills are, and you can match that with what the employer needs.
Exactly.
Right? I didn't even think about a lot of those issues. That's a really key thing. We've got an older workforce that's phasing out, but we've also still got older folks in the workforce, and we've got young people coming in who have kind of very different skill sets when it comes to communication, because so much is done online, right?
Electronically, exactly.
And wow. And so just also managing the fact that we've got that vast age range difference in the workforce. Wow. And what can you guys do about that? I mean, is there training about that, the interrelationship between the employees?
We have amazing training that comes, starts out with, you start with a survey to see where your supervisors are at or your managers are at, so they can ask themselves the critical questions to kind of realize where they're at. And then from there's workbooks that we can do. We have CD training that goes with it. We can bring in outside people to turn around and do lunch and learns and training sessions for them. We can provide them with those training materials. It's amazing. It just never stops, and it's always changing and always evolving.
You really are full of knowledge, aren't you? This is amazing. We don't have a whole lot more time, but what I just discovered is that you guys do a whole lot more than just filling employment gaps.
Yes.
I mean, that's incredible. What a neat resource in the community. Thanks so much for joining us. I think actually we have to wrap up, but thank you, Sheila. Welcome to the community.
Thank
We're
you.
so glad to
Appreciate it.
have you. Good to see you, Betsy.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Yes, and
Do
it's
a nice
good to
job.
see you folks. Thanks. It's good to see you folks too. Thank you so much for being with us. Stick with us. We're going to be actually taking you over to the Owatonna Education Association banquet after a word from our sponsors.
When using a fire extinguisher, we suggest using the pass system. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher that keeps the handle from being accidentally pressed. Aim the nozzle toward the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguisher. If you release the handle, the discharge will stop. Sweep the nozzle back and forth at the base of the fire. After the fire appears to be out, watch it carefully since it may reignite. If you have the slightest doubt about whether or not to fight the fire, get out and close the door behind you. This has been a safety message from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Ron Clancher with Clancher & Son Landscaping and Concrete. We support the Owatonna Today Show, and so should you.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar. aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty. And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna. And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show. We are still here at the Owatonna Education Association banquet, and we are talking to our teachers who've been teaching for 25 years or more. And first, we're going to talk to this lovely lady and ask her, what is your name?
Lisa McKay.
Lisa, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 25.
25 years. And what grade do you teach?
I am at the junior high school, 7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th graders, and a particular subject?
Special education.
Special education. What is it that you love the most about teaching, and especially teaching special education?
Well, I enjoy the kids. I get to work with different disabilities, and I really enjoy the students. So it's been fun to work with them, and they teach me something every day.
That is awesome, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your many years of service. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. And what is your name?
I'm Teresa Wagoner.
Teresa, what grade do you teach?
I am at 6th grade at Willow Creek School.
6th grade at Willow Creek, and for how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 25 years in Owatonna.
25 in Owatonna. And what grade do you, what subject do you teach?
I predominantly teach science, and I also teach language arts and some math tutorial time.
And what is your favorite thing about being a teacher?
I really like science because I like asking questions and I like seeing discoveries that kids make. And I think that is what gives me the most joy, is when kids ask questions and make their own discoveries.
Thank you so much for joining us and helping us learn a little bit about you. And thank you so much for your many years of service. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello. And what is your name?
Liz Elizabeth Langer.
And Liz, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching 34 years, but 30 years in Owatonna.
Wow, 30 years of your 34 in Owatonna. And what grade do you teach?
I teach all grades because I'm in special education.
And what is your favorite thing about teaching special ed?
I think it's a variety. I like teaching kids to read. I like teaching kids math. I like helping them with behavior challenges. I like the difference that every day brings.
And you've been teaching for 30 years. What would you say to people who are just coming into the profession, real quick?
Find other things to keep yourself sane so that you can put your energy into each child each day.
Well, we really thank you for putting your energy into the children every day, and congratulations on your many years of service. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
And what is your name?
Julie Olson.
Julie, what grade do you teach?
I teach 6th grade at Willow Creek Intermediate School.
And for how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 34 years.
What subjects do you teach?
I teach Minnesota history, language arts, and math tutorial.
And so you teach several things. Is there a favorite?
I love Minnesota history. I love social studies. I love making boring history come to life. I love letting kids know how important it is and how awesome it is to live in the state of Minnesota.
And if you could tell anything to a new teacher coming in, just one quick thing, what would that be?
Take care of yourself. Take time for yourself. Learn to rest. Learn just to give your soul a rest and just enjoy the ride.
Thank you so much for staying on this ride for so long. We really appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
What is your name?
I'm Denise Lage.
Denise, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been teaching 25 in Owatonna, but 28 total.
28 years. And what subject do you teach?
I teach at the high school, and I teach family and consumer science, or maybe home ec as we would know it.
I remember it as home ec. And so what is your favorite part of teaching?
Well, I teach child development, food and nutrition, and human relations, and I like all three of those because they're such valuable life skills.
And so what made you want to become a teacher?
Since 4-H and my family, and just the need for empowering people to be successful in their lives beyond just their jobs.
Well, we really thank you for empowering our children and taking all the time that you have to teach. And congratulations on your many years of service.
Thank you so much.
Hello. What's your name?
I'm Jane Sorensen.
And Jane, how many years have you been teaching?
I've been here for 25 years.
What grades or grade do you teach?
So my position right now is a little bit different. I'm out of the classroom. I'm a teacher on special assignment. I taught physical education for most of my years in Owatonna and at all the elementaries, and I last taught at the junior high. But right now I'm the mentor coordinator for the district, and I supervise student teachers through Minnesota State University Mankato.
Wow. So you grew our young people, and now you're growing new teachers as well. That's wonderful. And what was it that made you want to go into physical education, for example?
Well, I have reflected on that in the past. People have often asked me that, and I think it was because I valued health and wellness, and I really wanted to bring that to other people.
Well, we thank you for bringing all these years of service to our young people in our community. Thank you so much. Hello. And what is your name?
Monica Canold.
Monica, how many years have you been teaching?
Well, I've actually been teaching 30 years. This is just my 25th year in Owatonna.
Wow. Okay, so 30 years, 25 here. And what grades do you teach?
I've taught 3rd, 6th, and now I'm presently teaching 4th grade.
And what topics or subjects?
I teach in the elementary, so I teach all subjects. I started out in special education. I've got about 13 years of special education in my 25 to 30 years of teaching. So,
what is your favorite thing about teaching at the elementary school level?
Well, it's the kids. They always come with something new and fresh, and I've just always loved children, so their little ideas and their smiles and all the little games that they play and things that they bring you.
Well, thank you so much for bringing all of your expertise in these many years of service. We really appreciate it. Hi there.
Hi.
What is your name?
Lisa Schmitz.
And Lisa, what grade do you teach?
I'm actually a speech pathologist in the school district.
And how many years have you been a speech pathologist?
25 years.
And all those 25 years you've been teaching here in the local school?
Yeah, I was the first clinician that was hired for Willow Creek. So I spent 16 years at Willow Creek when Elmer Riesland was the first principal at Willow Creek. And then I've spent my full 25 years at the junior high. I've also spent some time with early childhood. And then right now my current position is still at the junior high and then at the high school.
And what made you go into speech pathology in the teaching profession?
Actually, I attended speech therapy when I was a kid. And my mom just one day said, "Hey, have you thought about this?" So I just, from the get-go, when I went to when I went to college, I started there and finished the program there. So I thought I would be in the hospital setting, but then realized that the school setting was much more appropriate for me.
Well, we really appreciate you being here and taking care of our kids, and especially in speech pathology, and that you bring your own personal experience to that. Thank you, and thank you for your many years of service.
Thanks.
Hello. Hi. You look lovely, sparkly. What is your name?
I'm Susanna Schrader.
And Susanna, I know you, and how many years have you been teaching?
With Owatonna, I've been a school social worker here for 25 years, but I've been a social worker for 33.
Wow, that's a big job. And so as a school social worker, what is the favorite thing that you get out of that job?
I love working with kids and with their families to get obstacles out of their path so that they can just do better in school, do better with their peers, and feel success.
And what gave you that love for wanting to remove obstacles and help students and their families?
I think I've always been interested in people and had good friends growing up and had some mentoring parents that I think maybe helped instill that in me, my family. Mm-hmm.
Well, we really appreciate your years of service as a social worker here in our school district. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
And what is your name?
Rose Ragetz.
And Rose, how many years have you been teaching?
This is my 30th year.
The big 3-0? And where have you been teaching?
At Owatonna High School in the special education department.
Owatonna Special Education. What caused you to go into special education?
The challenge of figuring things out for kids who have special needs, and I did have someone in my background that had some special needs, so so there was that connection also, like wanting to figure it out.
The personal connection. And if you could tell anyone else who's going into the same field one thing, what would you tell them?
Every day is a new day, and the kids are totally worth it, and the kids are the reason that I teach every day.
Well, we really appreciate your many years of service. Thank you so very much for all that you've been doing. So we had 11 candidates, 11 retirees, we had 11 people from 25 to 30 year or more teaching, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you. Stick with us after a word from our sponsors.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to transitional housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed our visit with the Owatonna Education Association and the banquet. Right now, we're going to look at what's going on in the community. We are your community connection. So what's happening? Don't forget, tonight is the cancer benefit for Don Hedinga, and that is something the Alternative Learning Center students are putting on for their teacher. That is a spaghetti supper and silent auction tonight at the Eagles Club, and that starts from 5 to 8 p.m. It's $8 in advance, $10 at the door. We hope that you will attend and support the kids and support their teacher, Don Hedinga. Also, remember, this Saturday, the e-cycling collection is happening from the retrofit companies, and that's taking place at the old Walmart building. That is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next, we have now through the end of this month, we have an online auction taking place to support the Orphanage Museum here in Owatonna, and you can go to auctioncityonline.com to bid on numerous really neat auction items that are available. Also on Friday, May 15th, from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Steele County Historical Society, Building Hope for Homes fundraiser for the Habitat for Humanity of Steele and Waseca County. Also, Steele County Historical Society is welcoming back the Americana Showcase. That's Friday, May 22nd at 7:30 p.m. in the Wenger Room of the History Center. Riverbend Nature Center staff invites seniors to join them for their monthly Owls Lunch and Learn program. That's Wednesday, May 20th from 12 to 1:45 p.m. Riverbend Nature Center is also hosting on the 23rd Bird Fest, a hands-on celebration of spring's return of Minnesota's wild birds. That's from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And finally, celebrate 15 years in operation for the first Consolidated Dispatch Center in the state, and that's Rice and Steele County's 911 Center. That's taking place there at 204 East Pearl Street from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. You can also tour emergency vehicles. As always, we are your community connection. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and we hope that you will stick with us, come back with us next week for some of the guests that we'll be having there with Deb Hillard being the host. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.